Hi, I'm Louise, and again this week we're going to look through principles, focus on the principles section. The principles today are on turning, and with our dragon form we don't stay straight on, do we? We don't stay facing in one direction, we turn right and left. So today, this week, we're going to look at turning the body and how we can do that safely. So we're going to be looking at from the hip, the knee and the ankle downward, and weight transfer as well. So some of the things that we picked up on last week, but we're looking at a little more detail on this turning and how we place the foot and how we protect the body. So turning, we're going to turn from being face on to our right, and then we're going to progress from there, because your moves this week have you going from being facing your right side to being on your left side. So how do we get from one to the other? So let's start with our feet in parallel, and we're going to turn to our right. Now we do this by weight transfer, and we always want to protect the body. So in this case we're going to protect the hips, the knees and the ankles. Okay? Now something to really consider with this is two things really. One, what you're wearing on your feet. So I'm on laminated floor, so my feet are sticking onto this laminate floor. Very similar to if I was wearing trainers, so that's something to consider. Okay? So by turning, your foot's going to stick onto the floor a little, and you'll see that when I do this I lift the foot just slightly off the floor before and as I turn. Okay? If you're having your feet on the floor all the time, then what can happen is you're going to grip, okay? And that could put pressure onto your knee and to your hip. So that's something to consider. And what you wear on your feet, obviously if you wear socks, and I wore socks on this sort of floor, it's going to be quite slippy. So these are all things to consider, and it's exactly what we would say in class as well. Consider what you're wearing on your feet. It's okay to wear socks, just be mindful of the surface that you're on. It's great to be in bare feet. In class we would also wear some Tai Chi slippers, which are just slightly rubberised sole, but they don't grip like they do with trainers. So these are all things to consider. Okay. The next thing is, do you need or would you prefer to have something to hold on to when you're practicing this balance? So this isn't going to be balance where we're just stood on one leg for ages at a time, but balance is what we use as we take our steps, as we walk. So same with our Tai Chi. So you might want to have a chair or something that you can just hold on to, be worktop, window ledge, whatever. Just so you've got something there if you feel taking the step, taking the leg out to the round to the side is a little much, but we're going to talk about how we can do that in stages anyway. Okay. So we're face on. Last week our principles focus was on this posture, balance and golden thread, so think about that as well. Okay. Then we're going to shift our weight to your right side. Now I'm doing this face onto the camera, I'll do it with my back to the camera as well. But I'm shifting the weight to my right side. Okay, that allows movement on the left. So I said I'm going to peel the heel up and I'm going to turn the foot. Okay, now I'm not turning that foot all the way round. It's not coming all the way round. It's going out to about 45 degrees or so. But again, it's what's comfortable for you. Okay, the weight shifts onto that left foot and the right foot is going to come across. And we talked last week about bow and arrow stance. And that's where we're aiming for. We're going to land on the heel, then roll the ball of the foot, and as we do that, the weight shifts forward just slightly so that we end up with it being equal over both feet. Okay. So I'm lifting this right foot, taking it over, taking the heel down, rolling the ball of the foot forward. Now, my hips are now square on. Okay. If you imagine we've got a cross, a T, I was face on, to the right, and I will be going to the left. So hips are square on. Now at this point, this left foot might need to be moved so that it's more comfortable. Okay, I'm here. I can feel it just pulling on the inside of this knee. Okay, so I'm going to lift the heel and reposition slightly so that it's much more comfortable. Okay. Still got those bends in the knees and the weight is still 50-50, but this is more comfortable than what it was. Okay. Okay. So let's go through that again. Shift the weight, turn from the hip, not the knee or the ankle. Shift the weight back to this left leg. Peel and move the right foot over. Again, just tweak that back leg again if you need to. So one of the things that we do in class is we put little markers down sometimes so that people know where they're going to aim for when they take their foot round. Okay. So with bow and arrow stance, we're not bringing that the foot all the way round so it's parallel again, it's in front. So placing something on the floor for you to aim at can help as well. Okay. So now I'm going to turn, do the same thing with my back facing you. So now, how do we go from facing our right to going over to facing our left? Now the moves that you're looking at today are roll back and press. So when you go through those moves on that focus on movement section, there'll be some discussion on what you're going to do with your left foot. Okay, so there is some more detail in that. But for this part, where we're talking about the principles of turning, we're going to go straight from being on our right side to being on our left side and how we would go through that in the dragon form. Okay, so those what we've just done again. So from here, add a little more weight onto this right leg again, the leg that's in front. Again, so that you can move the left foot. Weight shifts, turn. Now I'm going to bring the right foot back to parallel. Okay, so just reverse what I did to step over to the right. Now I'm going to go over to the left, exactly the same as what we've just done. Weight shifts onto the left. I'm going to turn from the hip on the right side, weight shifts, take the left foot over, land on the heel, and if I need to, I can just turn a little more with this back leg, and I do that by lifting the heel, repositioning. Forward, shift the weight, turn, shift the weight, lift the foot, turn. So this is exactly the same move. This is bow and arrow stance. Hips are forward again. Just reposition that back foot if you need to, so that your hips are square on and there's no pressure on your knee. Weight again is at that 50-50 point. Landed with the heel and then roll forward with the ball of the foot. So again, I'm doing that with my back to the camera. So that was our section on focus principles. So foot position, how we turn. Remembering, always notice what your body's telling you. So if you notice things through the joints of your knees, your ankles, your hips, maybe you're pushing, turning that a little bit too much, and you've got to take it back a little bit first of all. Okay. You can always ask your instructor or any of the team at LCTKD for more information on this. But remember, what you're wearing helps. What surface that you're on helps, and we looked at that with some of the balance and things last week. But it's about this weight transfer, side to side, turning and then taking the step. You can do it in little sections as well. You don't have to do it all in one go. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week for another section on our principles.